This is PJ Denuzzo with Denuzzo Wealth Management on a Denuzzo Wealth Management Insights titled Pathway for U.S. Economic Turnaround. We're currently in the throes of the coronavirus, battling that across the country. And of course, the key question is that we need to get that under control and get the economy reopened. And that is the challenge facing us. And I would like to share today an economic view of how the market is looking at the current situation and an optimistic view for pathway forward. Again, this is an optimistic view on the economy. I am not a medical expert, and none of my conversation has anything to do with any opinion on applications of medicine, but of an economic view where, again, the mitigation of the coronavirus is meeting our economy and how and what the market is looking for us to be able to move forward. So again, either the scenario specifically I'll be talking about today or something analogous to that. And again, it's the same as the market, the capital markets. Price discovery is when new information is introduced to the capital markets is what causes a price to change for an individual stock, the market in aggregate, et cetera. So we're looking for new information to come into the marketplace to be able to move things forward. And that's what I'm referring to as looking for green shoots of optimistic information coming forward. It's our opinion that regarding this economic information that is going to help the market to propel us forward and get us back on track again will come from one of three areas. The first will be diagnostics. Those would be something along the lines of any testing kits. If the market receives better than average or new information that is good information in plain English regarding anything in the diagnostics, that is going to be very good news for us going forward. The second would be therapeutics. Therapeutics would be any type of mitigation or mollifying medicines of any type. There's a lot of conversation around different medicines in the marketplace. Anything that can mitigate or serve as a prophylactic in advance of our frontline physicians, nurses, police, etc., contracting the COVID-19 will be tremendously good news for the capital markets. And finally, vaccine progress. And I would look at progress in all caps. Of course, vaccines are not going to be immediately available, but the market is a forward-looking mechanism and a discounting mechanism that will be able to take into account the projected vaccine when it's introduced to the population and available as a whole, and be able to incorporate that into positive information, optimistic information, and moving us forward. We feel that the big influx of diagnostic tests are what may allow our economy to open much sooner than planned. Citibank, their research department, had come out with some information on this. And of the three, as far as what may hit first, diagnostics, therapeutics, or vaccine, we think that potentially diagnostics have the best opportunity. Regarding the explosive growth in diagnostic testing, this may allow us actually to test approximately 50% or more of working age U.S. individuals by the end of April. Again, if it's not by the end of April, maybe by the end of the first week in May, but those projections have escalated. These are positive projections that have escalated dramatically just over the course of the last week. Those projections are also potentially that we may be able to test 90% of our workforce by the end of May. And again, if the market can incorporate this information, if we're only able to test 75 or 80% of our workforce by the end of May, that is tremendous news from where we sit right now. Again, the projection is as the workers are tested, of course, under a managed program, they'll be able to systematically head back to work, reopening the economy in stages. That's the projection we're looking for. Again, diagnostics rather than therapeutics, mitigation medicines, the diagnostics are far better positioned to materially change the economic outlook for our near-term recovery. Again, as I mentioned in one of the previous videos, you have over 150 million working age individuals under the age of 40 in the United States. who have very low negative outcomes when they come into contact with COVID-19. We're looking at approximately 50% asymptomatic, no symptoms whatsoever. 40% of people contracted having moderate to flu or more severe flu-like symptoms. So there's good news that's coming back into it, especially for these younger members of the workforce. Again, just as a reminder, what the market's doing almost on a nanosecond by nanosecond basis is the smartest minds on earth, millions of people, of highly intelligent individuals are pricing the market, and they're looking at numerous forward projections on GDP, inflation, interest rates, individual sectors in the economy, and of course, getting down to the granular level of individual company earnings. What the market is then doing basically is taking the weighted average of all these uber intelligent individuals and organizations and taking an aggregate of that, and we could think of that as more or less macro price discovery. So taking a weighted average of all of these hundreds of thousands or millions of highly intelligent individuals and organizations, and that's where the market pricing is coming from. In order for us to have vision to come forward to go out, and again, the market is a forward-looking instrument. The market is typically anywhere from 3 to 9 months ahead of actual facts on the ground. So when the market collectively gets vision on where we're at right now with what I'm describing, then we'll be able to move forward. And you just never know when that's going to happen. It can happen in 2 days, in 2 weeks, and we could be shot out of a cannon and heading back forward. But again, it's this lack of vision right now that is our challenge and what is generating the volatility in market. So again, once these challenges are answered, looking forward, we're looking for, again, some type of good news on the COVID-19 front. Again, either diagnostic, therapeutic, or vaccines. We're thinking that potentially, and again, I'm an optimist, as I mentioned before, that we may get more traction sooner from an economic perspective on the diagnostics, which will allow our economy to start to phase back in and step back in to normal activity. And again, we've got to take that first step. That's what the market's looking at right now. When can we project that we're going to take that first step forward, especially in the manufacturing sector, and the service sector will come behind that, but getting full manufacturing and everything related back on track. So I'd like to thank you today for listening in on what we're looking at as far as an optimistic viewpoint of getting the economy back on track and getting America back to work, the largest economy on earth. I want to thank you very much for listening in today, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you very much.